Okay, this video is going to go over the week 17 day 1 warm-up exercise or review exercise, whatever you want to call it. The purpose of this exercise is just to practice recognizing method calls and method headers so that you know how to navigate when navigating through code, and also it will help you to understand how to write your programs if you can do this. And so the first thing is that we have the suggestion up here is for you to highlight all your method headers with one color and all the method calls with another color. And so we did that here, and so you can see that the method headers they're all yellow, and they start with public static, and they have the name of the method, and then they have the parentheses. And so you should be able to recognize the method header in here. Now I probably shouldn't have used the word method in the header names, but anyways, that's what I did. And so all these are method headers. These are all methods have a function. They all serve a function. So it's just like the talent show where each heading, so to speak, was the name of one of the performers. And so when Christy was called up, she did some things. She did a performance. Well, that's what these methods do. They're called to come up and perform. They do a performance. A method is going to print French. Some method here is going to print Spanish. My method is going to print wood, and it's going to call another method and even another method. So they're going to have a function. A method has a function to do. And so the first method is the purple one here. I guess that's purple, and that is the one that starts the program. And so what happens is we go it's like you're reading a book. You go down. So you're going to go here. This is the opening brace. You're going to print dog. So the first thing that gets printed is dog. And then as we go on, oh, this is a problem. Oh no, this is not going to work. Okay, so I think what I'm going to try to do is type instead of use that pointer. So I'll put an X when it's done. So we did the main method, started the program, we printed dog. The next line is some method. Now some method is a method call because it's got the name of a method and it's got parentheses. And so where your eyes should look is you look for one of the method headers to look for the word some method. And so you see that some method is right here, and so this is where the compiler is going to go. And so its job here is to print Spanish, so the next thing that should be printed is Spanish. Now at the end of a method, then what you do is you return the method call. This is something that you need to memorize. This will help you navigate. So return to method call is the idea here. Okay, so what we're going to do then is the method call, we'll go ahead and use this. The method call then is the one that's calling the some method. Well, what line called some method? And that was right here. So what happens is we return to that method call, and then we go down to the next line, which is printing orange. And so that should be the next thing. And then the next line down is a method call again. So your method, we're looking, this is not your method, this is not your method, this one's not, but this one is. So we're going to go down to here. And so then we're going to keep going to the next line down. So what we're going to do, what the compiler is going to do is print water. And then it's going to go here. Now within this method, this is something I just added for kicks to see if you could navigate with a different method other than the main method doing the call. So this calls a method. So we look for a method, and a method is up here. So this is where the compiler goes. And so now this method performs, it prints French. At the end of the method, we return to method call. Well, where was a method called? It was just called from right here. So we return to that method call. Then we go to the next line down, and that is cat. So you just keep going to the next line down unless you have to go to a header from a method call. So cat is printed, and then we're at the end of the method, so we return. Oh boy, this is not good. We return to method call. Well, we're looking what called this method. This is the method that's performing, and so when the method's done, we go, where did it get called up to come and perform? And so we're looking for the your method, and so your method was originally called right here. And so we come back here, and then we go to the next line down. Well, this happens to be another method call, so my method is going to be in one of these highlighted areas, and it happens to be right here. So now my method is going to perform. And so what does it do? What's its function? It prints wood. And then it goes to the next line down, which is a method call. If you don't know how to recognize method call after this exercise, you've got some issues. Okay, we're doing all kinds of method calls here. So some method is going to be called. So some method is up here. Now this is the second time it's being called, and you can do that. It's actually something that can be done, and it would be what's the word? Realistic. So some method now is going to perform again. So it's going to repeat its performance, which is printing Spanish. And then it comes down to here and says return to method. Now some method was called. This is the second time it's been called. So you go to where it was last called from, which was right here. This is where it was most recently called. It was called from here before, but we're returning to the one that just invoked it to action now. So we're going to go back to some method, come down here, the next line down, and go another method called. We're going to go back up to a method, which is this is the second time that this has been called. So this is going to perform again, and it's going to print French again. That's its purpose. And then it's going to return to method call, and a method was just called from this method, so we're going to return to this one. Now here's the end of the method, and so we're going to return to method call. And the method call is the one that originally called my method. Well, the one that last printed called my method was right here from the main method, and so we're going to go return to that, and then we are going to print apple. And now that is the last thing in the main method. The main method is done. If the main method is done, then the whole program's done. It starts it and finishes it. Alright, so that is how this goes. This is how you navigate through this.